the Campfire block. It's a 12-inch block. And here's the diagram. We are going to do flying geese this time. So there are 8 flying geese. So your flying geese alternative is to use the flying geese 4 at a time. And you can use it once for the inside pieces and once for the outside pieces if you want to do that. And there will be a link down here, a code you can scan to open up a tutorial on the flying geese 4 at a time. There was a recent comment by a viewer on YouTube, and she asked me if I could provide traditional cutting methods for each block, and these traditional methods have been included on every block. These instructions here where the patches are, this is patch A, they're all traditional cutting. So I've purposely done this so if you have a rotary cutter, a ruler, and a mat, you can make any of these blocks. So let me go over it again with how you actually do the rotary cutting for these. So if we look at patch A, you make a square, you cut a square, and in this case it's 5 1/4 inch square. And then these 2 lines here mean you take that square and you cut it in half diagonally twice. And that gets you 4 patches. So here you see 4 patches of each of the 4 fabrics. So you would have to have one 5 1/4 inch piece of fabric for each of those, for each of these. And then you cut each one in half twice and you'll have your 4 patches. So that's what that means. And if you go to patch B, you're going to cut a 2 7/8 inch square and cut it in half once diagonally. So you'll have 2 patches. And here it tells you that you need 16 patches. So you'll have to start with 8 of these 2 7/8 inch squares and cut them all in half on the diagonal, and you'll get 16 patches. And the same thing works with this one. You'll cut a square, in this case it's 4 7/8 inches, and cut it once in half diagonally for 2 patches. And this says you need 4 patches. That means you'll need to cut 2 of these squares at 4 7/8 inches, cut both of them in half once diagonally, and you'll have 4 patches that you'll need. And finally, this down here, patch D, it's just a square, and you're not going to cut anything because there's no diagonal lines. So you just need a square at 4 1/2 inches. And this tells you you just need 1 of those. So in addition to these traditional cutting, the rotary cutting instructions, I have added, where I can, the Accuquilt dies for this patch. And so they'll be listed right here. If you have these instructions and you don't have an Accuquilt, but you have a rotary cutter and a ruler, you can cut these pieces, these patches, and you can make this block. And that is true for any of the blocks that I have listed all this year, and I'll list the rest of the year as well. The other information I started listing on here more recently, and that I'll continue to do, in this little area up here, I've listed what this patch is. And this is a 1/4 square triangle, 4 inch finished. That's what, if you were to look up what you needed to do to make a 1/4 square triangle that's 4 inch finished, this is the information you would get. If you are using your Accuquilt, on the dies, they list 1/4 square triangle, 4 inch finished, usually. And that will help you find which die you need to use. Now let's look at the pieces that I cut. And I will use the Accuquilt whenever I can, because if I need to make one of these every day, this saves me a lot of time. But occasionally I will do the traditional cutting and show you those. Here are the 1/4 square triangles, 4 inch finished. And you can see how these come if you made a 5 1/4 inch block and you cut it twice on the diagonal. These are the pieces you'll get. Of course, they'll all be the same fabric, but I've just stacked each fabric together. And then the next one, the B patch, they're half square triangles, which was a square, 2 7/8 inch square that you cut in half diagonally once. And this would be how it goes. So that's how that is. And then here is patch C, which is the 4-inch finished half square triangle. And this is a square, which is a 4-inch finished square. Now I'm going to sew these units. We have a new unit here that we haven't done before. And this is called a split quarter square triangle, because it's really a half square triangle on this side, but it's a quarter square triangle on this side. So somewhere I saw on the internet that what is this called, and they called it a split quarter square triangle. So this is a new unit, and we will use the quarter square triangles and the half square triangles. And then the other unit we have is the flying geese. So now I'm going to put together the split quarter square triangle and the flying geese. Here are the 2 sets of the flying geese, the center square, and these are the split quarter square triangle units here. And some of you have probably already noticed that these two are reversed. I didn't notice it till I finished them all. If you look here, the little dots are on the left-hand side, and here I put the little dots on the right-hand side. So I'm going to leave them like that because it's just a design decision, and I'm going to leave them like that. So let's put the block together. We're going to do this, and these flying geese are going around here, and these are going in the second tier. And then the split quarter square triangles are going like this. Now let's get it pieced.